since the beginning of the Academy. We've been going just for 4.5 years now. We set up a number of frameworks and opportunities to speak to parents frequently and in depth, because we see them as part of a triangle of the school, the student and the parent. It's now between us is our joint responsibility to move the student onwards in character as well as their attainment. So we weren't doing that badly, but I think what we wanted is another framework, some more momentum, further impetus for improving that. And we saw LPPA as an opportunity to arrive at that outcome.
One of the things that we were interested in is parental engagement, obviously, because if you can engage parents in their children's education, you know, the holistic approach involving them in every aspect of the education, then obviously the child is going to do well or do better.
I think as Oasis we believe the family is really important, and the family is really the key to a growing community. So if you can get the family strong, then you've got the students well supported in their education. You've got parents who are going out to work or not working who feel supported in what they're doing, providing for the family. And
I mean, I know sometimes it's sort of embarrassing to have your parents, you know, always there, but in some respects, yes, because otherwise you can't always handle it by yourself as like just a student. Sometimes you need your parents' help.
Yeah, their support's really helpful, and like just them being there is just enough, really. And also that the fact they can just get involved with the school is just really helpful.
I called up from the school about about my son coming home from homework, and I couldn't read. I can't read and write. So the school told me that we do a support parent thing here, and I've been coming in here doing reading every Monday, and I've been and she's learnt me quite well. Miss Meadows, she's learnt me quite well.
So they're doing learning review days, which is basically a chance for our parents to meet our teachers, and it's really regular. So then our parents get to know what we're doing and where we're at and what we can do to improve.
Parents and students come in, and then that's where the parents are able to discuss any queries they have, any problems they're having, or just to check how their students are getting on, how well they're doing, what their attendance is like, and then we set targets. We also make sure that their behaviour is fine, and we just recap on contacts, and just it's like a nice little catch up, including their attainment and how well they're doing at school. And they happen, I think we have 5 a year, so every module.
Oh, yeah, I feel nervous, but like when, you know, to see how grades he's got and all that lot. But I did have one before, and he's been quite a good attendance.
If I have any problems, that I can tell my parents straight away, and they'll easily contact the school and just tell them what the problem is.
Because it's easy to speak to a teacher, because your parents can just speak to like your head of year, and then they'll talk to whoever you need to talk to. And
because of the learning review days, they've formed a close bond, so then they can just talk.
Basically, because they know each other already, so it's not awkward, sort of, I'm talking to a random person about something.
Yeah, we've got a parent booking system and a PLP, which is personal learning plan, and that's made for the child with the parent that sets targets for the child to complete each module, and our modules run there 6 to 7 weeks, and then each module we'll revise that with the parents, and then we'll set new PLPs for the students, so that they're set with their parents on learning review day. We now push a little bit more for our attendance on learning review day and our attendance in general as a whole school, and our contact more with the actual parents.
Certainly our attendance here is excellent. You know, it's up in the 95s, and that is through parental engagement. It's engaging parents, you know, making sure that they're aware of what their child is doing.
I wait for the registers to be done in the morning, and then I check who's got a absent mark. Then we used to just send a text out, a blanket text to all those that didn't have a mark, and just ask them to ring in and let us know why. But often people ignore that text, so we now ring round. So we ring every single parent whose child is marked not in, and just ask them why. And then at least they get a proper mark instead of just an N. They get a proper, like, ill. That usually is because they're ill. And also we encourage the parents to get them into school quicker, sooner rather than later.
We have a parental forum with a faithful 15 to 20 that turn up, but that's on rather more straight educational issues such as communication technology, assessment and behaviour. But when LPPA highlighted the fact that there may be some more generic issues about the area that impact the daily lives of parents, such as the issues about gangs or street crime, when we introduced those into the parental forum, our attendance of the parental forum went up by about 400%. So we learned through that we shouldn't make assumptions about our parents. So the framework also enabled us to look at some ideas of best practice, things we hadn't thought of before. Where there was a criterion, we hadn't considered it, but we then put something in place to meet that, but also to improve provision. So it validated what we had already, but provoked us, if you like, to meet areas in a wider sense. So the whole process of engaging with LPPA, the outcome of that was to improve provision, not just validate what we've done.
The reception area was changed because it was quite sterile. I think that's the word that Margaret's used before. It wasn't very welcoming, I would say. So from doing the LPPA, we put Margaret arranged like a table and plants and cosy chairs to make it look a bit more relaxing and inviting for parents, because that's really what they see as soon as they come into our building. And we put some welcome posters up in different languages, so that was something else that came out from doing the LPPA.
We have a very mixed community here. The majority of parents are from white British background, but we have sizable minorities of Afro-Caribbean parents and Turkish parents as well. What LPPA stimulates us to think about, are we giving a consistent message in depth and engaging as much with parents from, say, Turkish background as we would for white British background. And as a result of that, we worked with a couple of members of staff from the Turkish community, and they helped us set up a Turkish cultural evening in which we had food, dancing, music, but we also had a parents' evening with a speaker from a local higher education institution who was Turkish himself, good name within the Turkish community, that chaired a question and answer session. But there were a number of issues regarding sort of English acquisition, about translation, about basic knowledge of the state education system. If we hadn't held that evening, we wouldn't know that could be a barrier to their support of their child. Of course, if it wasn't for LPPA, we would have been sensitised to the fact that is an issue that could come up, so we wouldn't have put on the evening, which will now become part of our annual event in the calendar. So I think that's maybe an example where we've learnt something about ourselves and the parental body that if it wasn't for LPPA, that would have been highlighted.
So the support from our advisor as well, Pauline, she was excellent. So just having someone coming in to go over things with us, and she was really available, when we needed her, which was fantastic.
I definitely recommend it because it just helps you, it actually gives you more of an awareness of what you actually do as a school to include the parents.
And the portfolio has made it clearer to us what everybody in the school is doing and how well we are doing, and that's been excellent.
We don't want organisations that come in just to tick boxes and to hand something. The more rigour it has, the more appeal it has to us, because it provides a better vehicle for improvement. And I'm pleased to say that LPPA was an ongoing dialogue with people that were clearly experts in their field, and through that dialogue, through use of the framework, we're convinced that it improved the deal for parents, students, and improved us as a school.